I choose to look in the mirror and say I like you. Choose I choose.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the PHP. I would be Booker. That would be Perez. Happy New Year.
Happy 2022. I'm happy-ish. Today, my children and I are going to get tested for COVID because they're going back to school. And first of all, at my kids' school, it's required, which is a good thing. And it's also just the responsible thing to do. But I'm a little bit nervous, because we were in Vegas for 16 days. And I have a bit of a stuffy nose and a bit of a scratchy throat. But other than that, I'm not having quote, COVID symptoms. But who knows what COVID symptoms are anymore, because a cold could be COVID.
Yeah.
And everybody has the Omicron these days.
Yeah.
Did you get Omicron?
Not that I'm aware of. I feel fine. I hope I've dodged the COVID bullet. But yeah, like you, I who knows? I mean, there's a lot of people that get it and they're asymptomatic, but this is I think a good sign because we're coming to the end. This thing may peter out and everybody could get this, and this may not, affect the unvaccinated that much and could be in good shape.
I'm not that optimistic just because I know people that have gotten COVID before they got this one as well. So it could keep mutating and there could be another strain.
Well, the thing is, Delta's still out there, though. That's what people are failing to see. It's not just Omicron people are getting. Delta is still here and thriving. That's the one that's a little bit more potent. So, whatever. We'll see.
So, but I'm happy to be back. It's nice to miss you, right?
It's nice to be missed.
And it's nice to miss our audience as well. I had a great time in Las Vegas. I haven't spoken to my therapist in 3 weeks, though. So, but I'll save that all for him. I'm so ready to move to Vegas, but my mom is not. So that's the thing that's like the frustration. Because two things, one, I just don't want to move to Vegas without my mother. Yeah. And two, I don't want to force her to move there and then be unhappy, because that'll be a disaster. So I've really got to get her fully on board before making that decision. But I had such a great time, did so much, saw the Katy Perry residency there, which I loved.
Cool.
I also got into trouble over it. I didn't think I would get in trouble. I honestly thought this was a good thing, because YouTube has a way that if you take video from a concert, the label, the copyright holder can claim it. Not even they can claim it. It's an automatic thing. YouTube's system, if they notice that you have songs, it will give the money from that video to the copyright holder. So I'm like, okay, let me take videos from the show and it'll help promote the show, because it's doing okay, but it's not like a sellout, right? It's not like Adele or Lady Gaga. There were tickets for opening night available. There were tickets for New Year's Eve available, because it's really expensive too. Oh my God, I got free tickets and ours were, I looked it up, $750.
That's not going to last that long if that's what you're charging.
A friend of mine.
Ridiculous. Well, come on.
You're a friend of mine. That's one of my Vegas power gays. He listens to our show. He sent me tickets from StubHub. The resale thing. Yeah. Going below face value.
Yeah, they should. If people wanted to buy them, they just buy them. They got to have them for cheaper.
So anyways,
that's too expensive. That's $750. I could be front row. Okay. And I wouldn't pay $750. That's because that's $1,600 for two people. Get out of here. For Katy Perry.
I could have, come on. I could afford it. Right. But for some reason, the max that I'm willing to pay is $500, including surcharges, fees, everything.
Yeah.
I could swallow $500 for somebody I really want to see, but more than that, no. Anyways, I ended up videoing the whole show, and that upset a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So they're like, take that down. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to cause any drama. I thought it was only helping. But loved, she's blessed to have so many hits. She does
Mhm.
all the hits. It was a huge production. It's an expensive ticket, but I've never seen a show this big in Vegas since perhaps Celine Dion's very first residency back in the day, the one that was done by the Cirque du Soleil guy and had like a 50-person cast. It's like huge set pieces for Katy Perry, all these dancers. The music was presented in such a great way with the arrangements, live, no lip syncing.
All right, we got it. It was good.
It was good. Anyways, I also got sort of invited to Lizzo, but I ended up not going.
What do you mean to Lizzo? She has a show there?
She did a New Year's Eve concert.
Oh.
Yeah, and this was so weird. I was hanging out with my bestie in Vegas, and I said, well, my dog's here with us today. I was hanging out with my bestie in Vegas, and I said to him, I want to go see Kristin Chenoweth. You know who she is?
Yeah, from Wicked.
Yes, she's a Broadway legend. And that was at the Performing Arts Center, and she was lovely. And I kind of, it's like, that's what I was in the mood for. And I knew what I was going to get if I went to see her, like a guaranteed good time and just uplifting. And it was that. And then we just found out that Lizzo was also in Vegas for New Year's Eve. So my friend's very connected, and I don't mind. He was trying to use my name to get us tickets to go see Lizzo. And I got this response back. Oh God, don't make a clip out of this or anything. I'm not old me knows not to do things that young me would have done. Okay. So this is just in our circle of trust. And it's not a huge deal. Anyways, I got a message from the venue and the place, and I'm not even going to mention who, because I'm not trying to cause drama. This is the message that we got. We are not approved to have any reviewers in for the show. So if he wants to attend for fun, personal reasons, I can look into it. But if he's looking to do New Year's Eve coverage of Vegas in some form, or if we think he might run something regardless, we cannot accommodate, unfortunately.
Fair.
So I would have gone and not done any coverage. But my friend is like, oh, I don't really want to go now. And I'm like, okay, fine by me. So we ended up not going to see Lizzo, but we had a lovely New Year's. We had a lovely time. I love Vegas. How was your break?
My break was awesome. Oh, my house flooded again.
Oh, no.
That wasn't so awesome. We had so much rain in Los Angeles, and long story short, I pulled something out of my drains the size of a fucking mop that was a root, and it was causing the backup. And it was a couple of days of cleanup around here, but that kind of sucked. Outside of that, the break was awesome. Being off for I think I was off 11 straight days. So that was great.
Didn't you say you had to work?
Well, I worked this past week a couple of days, but I took the weekend. I took the week before Christmas off. So I had 11 days off there in a row. So I worked 3 or 4 last week, and I had a 4-day weekend this weekend. I'm off today.
And you didn't go anywhere?
No. I'm trying to avoid the coronavirus.
You could drive places, and you're vaccinated, you wear your mask and all.
Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? What am I going to see?
Vegas. You don't like Vegas?
I love Vegas. There's just too many people with the, listen, if Kel wasn't, immune compromised, we may do a little more things, but last time she was sick was pretty ugly. I don't ever want to see that again. So I don't mind staying home.
Oh, and I saw you were still fostering dogs.
Oh, we had a couple of puppies, 2 more that I fell in love with that we had to send back, which hurts every time, but they were lovely. They were such fun. Just pissers though, just pissed everywhere. So that's the second cleanup on top of the first cleanup that was the flood. There was the flood of the dogs and the flood that actually happened. I actually called off a day of work. I have not done that. I can't even remember. I think last time I had surgery, maybe that was 15 years ago, but I actually had to call off because I was trying to keep the water off my property. So yeah, I always say I'm coming to work unless hell or high water. And I got the high water part. So,
what about are you ready to have children?
Mm-mm.
No.
they look like so much fucking problems and trouble, and they want to do shit all the time. These puppies are great. I just send them back, and they don't go to college.
That's true. Although, you know what? I might get criticized for this. I would rather, and this is my intention, save, sacrifice, and give my kids the best education leading up to college. I'm paying for private school, which it's dozens of thousands of dollars a year.
Right. Sure.
And if I can't afford to send them to college, they could take out loans and pay their own way like I did.
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll get to it. All right. Pouring one out, dedicating our show this week to Betty White. It's kind of comedic timing and not funny, but in the legacy or the role of the funny lady, it's kind of ironic that she would die literally weeks before her 100th birthday, and all this big to-do was happening about her 100th birthday.
Yeah.
I actually bought tickets with my friends to go see this event at the movie theaters that they're having for her life on January 17th, I believe, before she passed. Do you have any Betty White story?
I met Betty once. I do have a story. My friend managed a restaurant in Beverly Hills, and I can't remember the name of it. It's by the Trader Joe's that you like, and it's the one that's outside. It's older. I can't remember, but anyhow, he was the manager there. And one night after work, his wife was a DJ at the station I worked at, and she said, "Hey, come over. We'll get some drinks at the bar so we could drink for free." I was like, "Okay, cool." And it's next to my house. So so I said, "Okay, cool." So I went over and we were at the bar, and they sat us down. And when we sat down, they brought a party in, and it was like a bunch of older people. And we're like, "What is this?" Because it's kind of a blue hair kind of restaurant, this thing. It's an old school, old timey restaurant. I'll be damned. It's Betty White and her crew. So it's Betty and I don't know, maybe 5 people. And one of her friends, and by the way, my friend is a huge, huge Betty White fan. Multiple times before this even happened, she would bring her up all the time and quote her. And it was just really kind of hilarious that she sat down next to us because my friend was such a fan. She's like, "How do I get a picture? I want to get a picture." And I said, "Let me take care of this." So I just waited till one of Betty's friends pulled out her phone. It was like taking pictures of something. And I said, "Here, let me take that picture for you ladies." And I stood up and I took all of their pictures, and they were like, "Oh, thank you." And Betty was like, "Thank you so much." And I said, "Do you mind if I take a picture of my friend? She's a big fan of yours, Betty." And she, "Absolutely not. Of course, bring her, And so I took a picture of her with my friend. And the best thing about it was Betty didn't get a dinner. She just drank vodka, and she was bombed. I mean, bombed throughout the night. She was drinking it. This is maybe 7-8 years ago. Bombed. And I couldn't believe it. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, this is the secret to life, vodka. So that's my Betty White story.
That's so funny. I have 2 Betty White stories, and one of them also involves vodka.
Yeah. That had to be her drink because I don't know if she was drinking it straight, but it smelled like it. It smelled like it was straight.
So in 2009, more than 8 or 7 years ago, 2009, she had that movie come out with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, The Proposal.
Yeah.
I got hired to host a screening, and she, came and showed up, and that was part of the deal. And I posted it on my website, and she's so professional. She showed up more than extra early, and I'm a professional. I showed up extra early as well. And she's like, "Well, we've got time. Let's go to this." It was at the Century City Mall. Let's go to this. I think it's like that one Asian restaurant right next to the movie theaters. She's like, "Let's go have a drink." And I'm like, "All right." So she orders a vodka something. I don't know what it was. I think it was might have been just vodka in a martini glass.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like vodka on the rocks, martinis.
And vodka was, well, let's be honest, okay? She probably is one of those very, like you, well, I don't know if you apply to this, but she clearly must have been able to really properly do moderation.
Yeah, she could hold her. Well, she could hold her liquor. Yeah. She never gets to the point where she's sloppy. Me neither. I could just drink right through it. She knows she's a professional drinker. She was.
Okay.
I smelled it. I'm like, that's a professional drinker.
Well, I could be a professional drinker now. You know, like the night
You
that I
could
went
have 3 and you would fall over, though. That's the problem.
No,
I could have like 23 and drink right through the night.
Well, fine, yeah. I'm not gonna, but meaning like the night that I went to see Katy Perry, I was drinking, and it's like, okay, I know just the right amount to drink now to get like a fun buzz, but I don't need to get wasted.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the second time I met Betty White, I was on that TV show of hers, Hot in Cleveland, which was amazing to get to be on a show that she's a part of and to be at the read through and be on set and watch her work and see everybody just idolize her. So rest in peace, Betty White. We should all be so lucky to live to 99 years old, young, ageless. All right, making headlines. We're starting 2022 and I'm going to make a prediction. I'm making a prediction. We are going to see and hear a lot from Britney Spears this year. She's free and she's healing publicly and making changes and cutting toxic people allegedly out of her life. She started the new year by unfollowing her sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, on Instagram. Gosh, I can't even imagine what like that must be like if you're Jamie Lynn Spears, right? Thankfully, she doesn't live in Los Angeles. Jamie Lynn lives, I think, in somewhere like Tennessee or Louisiana. Like she might have gone to Tennessee for who cares? She lives somewhere there. And you know, you have Britney Spears as your sister and you kind of live a somewhat normal life with your children, but Britney Spears is still your sister and like doing things that directly affect your life. But, you know, Britney thinks that her sister was not a positive influence in her life. And she's letting the world know that in so many ways. Meanwhile, Britney's father, Jamie Spears, is back in court asking Britney to pay for his legal fees, even though the conservatorship has already been terminated. Apparently, Jamie Spears' lawyers, or the former conservatorship lawyers, are still charging him $1,500 an hour to wrap things up. I have an expensive lawyer, okay? My lawyer charges $500 an hour. There's no need to have a lawyer that charges $1,500 an hour. That's just milking you, or was milking Britney. So I don't know. Do you think Britney should pay for her dad's lawyers or to wrap things up?
I honestly don't know what their contract was or what the agreement was when he was part of the conservatorship or what the exit clause was. But I'm sure it's, if he's going to ask for it, he believes that he deserves it, and he probably does. I'll be honest with you. He probably says it somewhere in something. So, you know, that's on her lawyers to prove that it didn't.
Well, all right. She's going to fight that, I'm sure, just like she's still investigating dad. And we're going to see what happens there. But over the holidays, one of Britney's former backup dancers spoke out about long before the conservatorship, her team tried and did control her in so many ways. And even before her father, her brother, Brian Spears, was a controlling influence in her life. This former backup dancer says he was on tour with Britney, and Anthony Garza revealed one night specifically while they were doing the Onyx Hotel tour in 2004, Britney had invited her backup dancers to a sleepover, like a little party in her New York City apartment. And her brother, Brian, found out about it and told the dancers not to go. And then Brittany got really upset that her dancers stood her up and it was such a big thing and yada, yada, yada. And
wonder what happened there.
Just trying to control her, not wanting the dancers to get close to Brittany. I don't freaking know, but this is like I said, 2004. And sad. All right. In more social media news, while Brittany has unfollowed her sister, Alec Baldwin's wife was posting over the holidays like normal. And that upset a lot of people. And that did not upset me. Like, I get it. An awful tragedy happened in October. And maybe, you know, I would think differently if it was Alec Baldwin, perhaps. But it's his wife. And she had nothing to do with that awful tragedy. And she's a social media influencer. It's her job. And not only is it her job, okay? It clearly makes this woman happy. So why should she not do something that makes her happy that's not hurting anybody else?
I can't fight with you about this. I agree. I don't know why anyone would expect her not to. It's her being, if you will. That's what she does.
And it makes her happy and it does not hurt anyone. But people were upset that she was sharing photos from Christmas and all of the gifts the kids got.
Well, and people are always unhappy on the internet.
Yeah. And people even were upset that they thought it was guns, or I don't even know what. They did not get guns. They got Ghostbuster toys, like proton shooters or whatever, like to kill ghosts. It was not guns.
Right. They got the proton pack.
Yeah, exactly. And that upset people. And
who cares?
Yeah, it did not upset me. Also, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson responded to this Instagram post that Vin Diesel posted publicly, asking him to come back to the Fast and Furious franchise. And I love it. The Rock said that it was just a manipulation tactic from Vin Diesel because they had spoken privately, and The Rock told Vin Diesel that he was not going to return. And when he didn't get the desired outcome, Vin Diesel took to social media to like try to get him on board, and it didn't work. And I love that The Rock he didn't take to social media. He was asked about it in an interview, and he responded. He said, quote, "Vin's recent public post was an example of his manipulation. I didn't like that he brought up his children in the post, as well as Paul Walker's death. Leave them out of it." And he goes on and blah, 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 blah. The Rock is not one to mince words. He's a straight shooter, and I love that.
I choose to look in the mirror and say I like you. Choose I choose.
All right, you know what else I love? I also love my high chew. And
yummy.
What's so great is it's a new year. Let me look at this to make sure. Oh, that's serving. Oh God, how much is it per piece of candy? I don't know, but 6 pieces of candy. Okay, my
the serving size is 6 pieces is what she's trying to say, which means nothing. Tell us about high chew.
Well, I just wanted to, it's low in calories, okay?
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. Low in calories, low in fat. It's, you know, a healthier alternative than just like another thing. Like, I don't even know if we're supposed to mention brands, but like some chocolate bar that you're gonna stuff in your face. Don't do that. Stuff some high chew in your face instead. It's low calorie and it's delicious. Okay.
Yes, it is.
And true story, you can use it to train children. If children are misbehaving badly, or if they're doing well and you want some positive reinforcement, give them high chew. My kid's piano teacher gives them high chew. I've said it before. It's true.
You're raising some Beethovens now.
We want you to love high chew as much as we do. Visit hi-chew.com/win. That's hi-chew.com/WIN and enter to win an exclusive bucket full of high chew candy and swag. While you're there, check out how you can become a member of the High Chew Crew, which is an exclusive club where you can receive special offers and all the cool things. Go to hi-chew.com/win. And thank you to High Chew for sponsoring our podcast.
Thank you for the bucket. The bucket's fantastic. Hopefully you win this bucket because the bucket's full of just goodness.
Indeed. All right. New year, new girlfriend for Kanye West. I love it. He is still wanting to get back together with Kim Kardashian, but he's also going from woman to woman to woman. I think in early December, he was with a model. Then mid-December, he was with a different model in Texas. He went to some party in Texas. Have fun, enjoy yourself. Then at the end of December, this was actually shocking to me. He was going out on a date with a non-model, an actress.
Oh, slumming.
In her 30s.
Oh.
In her 30s.
Ew.
No, we're joking, but good on you. And also, yes, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian are still going strong. They were spotted over the holiday break together in Los Angeles at their favorite spot. They keep going to either the Hotel Bel Air, the Beverly Hills Hotel, one of those two places, and that's like their go-to. So good on them making it work. And the Kardashians' new show on Hulu is coming out next month, I believe. So be on the lookout for that. They dropped a teaser for the show, not really a trailer, but a teaser because it didn't show anything. But some people actually are excited about it. Like,
they've laid out all of these plot lines. It's they got plenty of content to wrap up and let us in on. So I mean, yeah, I guess if you're a fan, why wouldn't you be?
I mean, just all of the Kravis fans want to see the proposal and all of that.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah. So there you go. Also, speaking of relationships, JoJo Siwa, I don't even know. They might have broken up as a result of this, but when you are in the public eye and you're very popular, the person that you date to many people is a reflection of you, and they instantly get some level of notoriety themselves.
Yeah.
JoJo's got a new girlfriend, this social media star named Katie Mills, that a lot of people don't like, and all of these in their minds problematic things resurfaced recently, such as her being a Donald Trump supporter, which a lot of people were. Her saying transphobic things and all of these other things and yada yada yada. Anyways, the new girlfriend ended up apologizing, a long series of tweets saying she was young and dumb and blaming her religion. She grew up Mormon and blah 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 blah. So I do wonder if they broke up as a result of this, though. In more couples news, Nene Leakes, formerly of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, her husband Greg died of cancer in September, and then in December she went public with her new boyfriend. A lot of people thought that was really quick. grieving.
I mean, a lot of people should mind their own business. I mean, you know.
All right.
Yeah, what else can I say? If if she feels the need to not be lonely and to be with someone else, and she feels that she's mourned the other person, can she mourn the other person while with someone else? I expect my girlfriend when I die to bring a date to my funeral. I mean, I don't care. Why would I care? I'm dead.
I don't know. I would want there to be like a 12-month period of mourning.
You're that narcissistic. I don't care. I'm dead. I'm literally dead. I don't care. I have no feelings anymore. I'm not on some cloud looking down, judging you. I'm dead.
All right. Or like, even for me, like, when my mom dies, like, I want to wallow in grief and be devastated. Like, I can't just be happy the next 3 months later. I don't know. 3 months is quick, but she claims that her husband gave her the blessing to date again, but she didn't really get into specifics. Like, it wasn't like oh, okay, you can date again in 3 months. Like, I don't know.
It's weird that you put your mother in this conversation. Like, your mother's not your girlfriend or your partner or anything. But I guess she's the closest that you have to something like that.
Yeah, she's like the most important person in my life.
Okay.
She's my rock. She's my center. I mean, that's probably not true. I'll probably you have to put on a brave face for your kids and make sure that they're happy and all of that.
You do whatever you need to do.
I talked to my therapist about that actually recently. Your 40s are a very interesting time of adulting, because a friend of mine, his mother passed away recently. And I'm like, God, I'm entering that phase in life where my friend's parents are really starting to die now.
Yeah.
And I've got children. So it's like both extremes. Like, you have parents dying and young children, and you have to deal with it all. And that's life, positive and negative, light and dark. And anyways, my mom had a great day and a half in Vegas without me yesterday and today. She went to this buffet with my sister. My mom,
your mom loves a buffet.
Well, I think that's amazing, right? Like in Los Angeles, she's so sheltered and scared and like doesn't do anything. We get her to Vegas, she's going to buffets, she's hitting the slot machines, she's living it up. So, great. She's vaxxed, boosted, and she double masks as well.
That's good.
So not just one mask, but 2. All right. In more couples news, from Nene Leakes over to Tori Spelling. Tori celebrated New Year's apart from her husband of over a decade, Dean McDermott. And it's kind of been speculated for a long time now, like a year, that she and Dean are calling it quits and, spending New Year's apart. And I don't even know if they even spent, or if he was in any of the holiday photos either. It's another nail in that coffin, but she's like, not rushing to do anything and taking her time and making sure that everything is right for her family and her children. So for those of you keeping tabs on that, there's that.
Both of you.
She's got a large social media following and a large fan base. She does. I actually was thinking about Tori Spelling over the weekend. In addition to this, if she did something in Vegas, she could probably do good money because she's so nostalgic, right? Like, she's got an old.
It would have to be something around the show, though. That's Well, that's she probably doesn't own any rights to any of that crap. So
I don't know.
Her dad gave her nothing.
I don't know what it would be, but you could still work your way around it if you do like a parody. It's a 90210 parody.
Yeah,
that's the law. You can do parodies, but you can't like. So, and if you put 90210 the parody starring Tori Spelling, you're good.
Whatever Vegas' zip code is, that's what you call it.
There you go. All right. Over the weekend, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene had her personal Twitter account banned from Twitter permanently because of COVID misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Listen, I understand. Twitter is a private company. Free speech really basically just protects you from not being put in jail. Mm-hmm. That's really what free speech means. Like, you can say whatever you want in any way you want to, and you won't be jailed for it.
Yeah.
Having said that, I don't agree with the decision to ban her for it.
It's her fifth strike.
Yeah,
it's the fifth time she's out there. She's an elected official. She should be more responsible than going on someone else's platform and spreading lies. Okay. I 100% behind Twitter. They're right. They did the right thing. It's their company. And when they had all this free speech, verbiage in the Constitution, that was talking about standing on a corner, yelling things and saying things and talking to people with things. It wasn't talking about going on another platform and lying. You're an elected official. She's an idiot. Okay. She's a fucking idiot. So there you go. Adios. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Like I've said before, I think it's better policy for these platforms to just label the content and say, this is not true, or this is dangerous.
And it's even funnier when they do that. I mean, I don't disagree with you there either. I think it's kind of funny, like if there's like a label on the bottom that says, this is a lie, this is untrue.
Because it's just a slippery slope, the policing of things. Like,
I get it. But this is, once again, it's a company. If that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do. But I do understand your point as well.
Yeah. Like if all of a sudden I say, you know what, I'm on this new diet where I drink battery acid, and battery acid is helping me lose weight. Everybody should drink battery acid daily.
Yeah, but you're not an elected official. Okay, if you did that, everyone would say, well, Perez Hilton's a buffoon to begin with. Go ahead. If you believe that, then go ahead and get on that circus train. She's an elected official, okay? She's literally out there. She's supposed to protect her constituents. She's supposed to not lie. She's supposed to be honest. She isn't, okay? So I do understand the platform saying, we've had enough, adios. You're not an elected official. And I think if you want to do your battery acid speech, it's very funny and you should continue. It's pretty good. I endorse it.
or like, here's another thing, right? Oh, this is a great comparison. There's this YouTuber. Should I mention his name? I don't care, whatever. I'll mention his name. His name is Nikocado Avocado.
That tells me everything I need to know, by the way, right there. Buffoon. Got it.
He literally is a buffoon, right?
Okay.
And a lot of what he does is trolling, but he's purposefully trying to gain weight, and he's set a goal of getting to 400 pounds. Should YouTube, it almost reminds...
No, that's entertaining. I want to watch that.
It almost reminds us of the conversation we had about that other YouTuber, Eugenia Cooney, the one that's very thin, right?
Yeah.
It's an opposite extreme. And what I said about that one was, I don't think she should be banned from YouTube because she's very thin. And I don't think that Nikocado Avocado should be banned from YouTube because he's trying to get to 400 pounds.
Either do I. I want to watch that.
I don't want to watch that, but a lot of people do want to watch.
Of course they do.
It's crazy. His views have gone up.
I'm interested. I'm already interested. I just don't want, I don't waste a lot of my time on YouTube with stupid shit like that, but it's a funny concept. I mean, I get why people would go and check in on it. Why not? Free country.
You know what's also funny? Perez Hilton talking about sports. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Come on. This should be good.
All right. I'm sure you saw that big football moment yesterday or Sunday when that Buccaneers player Antonio Brown had a moment during the game. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Were you watching the game?
I wasn't watching that game, but I got the news afterwards, and then I went back and saw the footage.
What? Okay. So what triggered? Okay. So wait. So the moment was something happened. He took his shirt off. He was frustrated. He took his shirt off and then left.
He was benched.
Oh, that was what happened. He was benched.
Yeah.
And that triggered him.
He's on Tom Brady's team. He's the guy that Tom Brady brought in. He's an ex-Steeler, this guy. And for years, he was labeled as, the problematic player. He's a big social media. He's done a lot of, I think he did The Masked Singer. He's done a lot of different shows, and he's kind of a pain in the ass. He's one of these players that's on Instagram constantly. He's, constantly tweeting dumb things, and he's what they call in the NFL a distraction. You become a distraction from the goal of the team, which is to win games. So the Steelers eventually got rid of him. He went to a couple of other teams. I think he had a problem with allegations of something with a trainer, of course, and she alleged that he did stuff, that he was thrown out of the NFL for quite some time. I think Tom Brady brought him back. He played in New England. I want to say there was a team in between, but maybe not. But he joined Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. Tom really stuck his neck out for this guy and said, let's clean this up. And he did, and he's got all the talent in the world, but his mouth and his actions always get in the way. He's a circus act. So he was benched for we don't know what. He got very upset, quit during the game, took off all his pads and was throwing them in the crowd, and it's the last nail. You'll never hear from him again in the NFL. There will be no team that deals with this. This was like his really last chance. And like I said, he has all the talent in the world, but he's just one of these guys that's going to be on Instagram until people just say, who cares anymore, and that's going to be it for him. He's made a lot of money, but it's unfortunate. He can't get out of his own way.
And what didn't the Buccaneers go or win? Didn't they win the Super Bowl last year?
They did. And they won this game as well. They came from behind. The Jets almost beat them, which is embarrassing. The Jets are horrible. Of course, Tom Brady threw the ball to the guy that went in for the guy that quit, Antonio Brown. They threw it to another guy for the game-winning throw at the very end of the game, showing we don't need you. We can do it without you, which was kind of poetic at the end. But he quit mid-game. And the coach, his name's Bruce Arians, and at the end of the press conference, the first thing they asked, he goes, he is no longer with the team. He is no longer a Buck. Next question. Right. It was awesome. Well, it's like a soap opera.
What's interesting is I saw this clip of Tom Brady talking about it, and he was just so tactful. Did you see that clip?
I didn't see his quote. No.
He was just so tactful and concerned for that man.
He really, like I said, he's the guy that brought him back. He's the guy. He lived in Tom's house. Like Tom brought him into his house in Florida. He lived there. Oh, wow. So he really took him under his wing and stuck his neck out for Antonio Brown. And this is what Antonio Brown does to really kind of repay Tom, acts like a buffoon during a game. Like if you want to quit, it's one thing. And if you want to act up, it's one thing. But taking off your pads and everything and throwing them into the crowd, it's like the ultimate disrespect that he could do for Tom Brady.
A lot of people, we don't really know, but a lot of people are speculating that it might be a mental health crisis.
Could be. I don't know what the deal is with this guy, but he's just, like I said, it's become a circus act. And, these teams are serious. They want to win. They really want to win. That's the goal. And Tom Brady is the classiest guy in the NFL. He really is. He's like a guy that for years I could not stand because he kept winning. And now he's to the point where it's impossible not to like him because he's such a beacon of honesty and doing the right thing and doing everything the right way in the NFL. And he really represents the game.
What about that whole Deflategate thing? That was
silly. That was silly. I mean, New England has been caught cheating a bunch of times. I don't know if that's on Tom. That's them recording other teams' practices and things like that. And the whole deflated ball thing. It's just that was just another. The NFL is just trying to catch them with anything and everything back then. But he's no longer there. He's he's a Buck.
All right, and more sports news. Have you been following that Leah Thomas story?
Which one's that?
It's so fascinating. I find fame and media fascinating because something could be a ginormous story to some people and then not on the radar of
and not
others.
hit the radar. Like you didn't even mention John Madden. I mean, John Madden, that's the biggest story of the weekend for the NFL. I mean, what a imprint he left on the game, from being a coach to what he meant to the players, to the video game, and huge news. Another coach died over the weekend, Dan Reeves. I mean, he was a huge coach for a lot of years too, and he basically was a footnote this weekend. It's funny how just things, unravel.
Leah Thomas is this college swimmer who is a trans female at UPenn, meaning at birth she was assigned male. So biologically, when she was born a man.
Okay.
During college, began competing as a guy. Then I think like junior year or something, transitioned, and then or sophomore year or something like that, and has now come back and is now competing as a woman against women. And this story is like huge in certain circles. And I don't even know. What's interesting is there was this one article that claimed that a bunch of the cis women, the biologically born female swimmers at UPenn, wanted to boycott, but they were afraid, allegedly, of being called transphobic if they boycotted their teammate or made an issue of this. And it's like
funny that the word boy is in there.
Right. It's a real interesting topic. Like I'm not afraid of saying it. Like, I don't know how I feel. I don't even know how I feel about this. I guess this is my thoughts. It should be up to the swimmers. I have no skin in this game.
I don't either. And I think it should be up to whoever makes the rules. I don't watch swimming, so I don't care. I really don't. But if the rules state, whatever they state, then just go by the rules. If the rules say, whatever you're born as, or, identify as a new word.
Right. But then again, it's like, what if we look at, professional boxing? What if, like Floyd Mayweather transitions to being a female and wants to now compete as a female boxer?
Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. It's all like arbitrary, entertainment. Is it deemed fair? I don't know. I mean, once again, that's their battle. If they want to fight it, I don't watch swimming. I don't care.
Yeah. Did you watch boxing?
Not really.
No.
I'm more of I love female boxing.
What about the Floyd Mayweather as a female thing?
That's interesting. Yeah.
What would your
pummeling other people? I like to see him get his ass beat, but there's some women boxers that could really kick ass. I mean, so I don't know. Might be interesting. If a woman from a higher weight class could go at him, I'd like to see that.
My son yesterday, when we were driving back from Vegas, randomly asked me about boxing. I don't even know how or why, but yeah. All right. An update on Chris Noth. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. Maybe I'm having a brain fart. He got fired from that TV show, The Equalizer, so he's no longer a part of that. Also, some people are very easily triggered. There was a trailer for this new season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, but it's also a good thing, I guess. Like, those housewives still have a very passionate fan base and group of people that watch their shows. I asked a question and I said, should the housewives be canceled? Like, they've literally been on TV for like 15 years. Reality shows aren't meant to be on for that long, just like the Kardashians. Yeah. And then people were like triggered and like, you meant to be canceled a long time ago? Blah, blah,
good
blah.
Good counterpoint. I like that. Who cares? You don't watch. Why would you worry about if it needs to be canceled or not?
Well, I don't know.
They got to put something on those channels. They have different incarnations of it. If people are fans and, people watch, Trying to like cancel a show is silly to me. Just to watch. Cancel it yourself in your own mind.
No, I'm not trying.
No, I'm saying it to those people, not to you. I'm saying it to them.
I'm not trying to get it canceled.
Yeah, I think that's what they're implying, that you are.
No, I'm just like
you have that much power to get anything canceled.
Yeah, no, I don't want people out of their jobs, but I'm just like surprised it's still on the air. All right.
I've managed to miss 15 seasons of it, and I'm doing just fine.
Like, okay, here's like a taking of the temperature. The Real Housewives of Orange County. That's the oldest one in the franchise. Mm-hmm. Do any of our listeners or viewers watch the Real Housewives of Orange County still?
Oh, it's still on?
Yeah, it's still on.
I didn't even know that. Okay. I'm sure they do.
And what's the appeal? Like, why do you stay watching that one?
Because it's just people that you're comfortable with. I mean, my mom sits and she watches QVC all day long because she thinks those people are her friends. Okay. I mean, it's just you form it's like people listening to this show. You form a relationship with people. You're comfortable with it. You like the comfort that it gives you. I mean, that's it. That's every show. You form alliances with certain people and you hate other people on it. And there you go. That's the magic.
All right. And finally, Chris Tucker was trending a couple of days ago because Ice Cube revealed that he wanted to offer Chris Tucker $10 to $12 million to do another Friday movie, but he turned it down for religious reasons. He didn't want to cuss or smoke weed on camera anymore.
All right. He seems a little long in the tooth for that role anyhow.
But, this could be one of the reasons why Chris Tucker is having financial difficulties.
Oh, is he? I met him once. What a nice guy. God, he was super, super nice. I think I met him with The Rock. They came into my radio show, I want to say in Philadelphia. And I was like, how the hell did I get these people? This is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, let's take some calls.
Hi, President Booker. This is Catherine from Las Vegas. Long time listener. I absolutely love you both. You're incredible people with the most amazing opinions. So my question for Perez is, I know there's a lot of opinions going around, but let's just play for fun. If you were Britney Spears' publicist, what would you recommend as her plan right now? Like, what would you say she should do? Should she lay low? Should she start doing interviews? Should she get her music back out there? What would you lay out as her plan back to success and getting herself back on top? Thanks, guys. Love you both so much.
Well, you're assuming that that's what she wants, and that could be an incorrect assumption. Mm-hmm. I'm actually assuming what she wants is to get married and have a child and have that be the focus. Not even the focus, just have that be her life for a few years. And if that's the case, then she doesn't need to do anything else, or she can do whatever else she wants. If she wants, she can totally ghost social media or not and engage or whatever she wants to do. But we have to know really what she wants. My guess is I don't think she wants to be performing or recording or promoting. I think she wants to get married and have kids, more than one.
Okay.
Hey guys, love the show. This is Macy from Toronto. I was just wondering, Perez, don't you find it kind of your professional responsibility that when you're going to discuss something on the show or try to get into it, talking about the Ben Affleck interview on the Howard Stern show, you said you didn't watch whatever it was because it was 2 hours long. Well, if you're going to talk about it, don't you think you should at least do more than just browse over the clips? You've done this a few times. Just wondering, harmless question. I love you guys. Booker, I love what you do with the dogs. Keep it up. Bye.
No, let me tell you something. That's how let me
She's like, don't you think as a journalist you should be responsible? Perez's answer, no. That's what you're following though. You know what I mean? Like, that's his thing. He doesn't care.
No, but also that's how most things work. Like a show like The Real or the View or The Talk or whatever, that's how those those people work on that show. They show up to their morning meeting. They're prepped by their producers. They're not even listening or watching any clips. They're reading what he said, the most important parts, and then they talk about it. Yeah. That's how mainstream media works too.
Right. But that's why I also have put myself on this show, because I think that is a crock. And I think that is silly. And I think context is dead. And I think that's every problem with our media. So that's why I sit here and every show say, that's not what happened, or that's probably not what happened, or it could be this, or it might be that. That's my role here. There are a lot
of people that disagreed with you as well,
Who cares? Of course there is, because it's the same people that watch clickbait TV. Listen, this is all arbitrary to everyone. This is interesting for some reason. I think this show is interesting because there's two sides of every conversation and argument, what it could be and what it might be and what it really is. Usually the what it really is, we never really know anyhow, because it's all just kind of consumption. It's just pushed out there. It doesn't mean anything. I think this is just arbitrary fun. And the way he does it, fun. And the way I do it, fun. Who cares? It doesn't matter. One more call.
Hi, this is Lorenzo from Austin, Texas.
Love Lorenzo.
I don't really have any thing to say other than happy holidays, happy New Year. I hope you guys have a great one, and thank you for doing the podcast and keeping me entertained. Also, I had a thought, Perez, why don't you do your own documentary? That would be pretty cool. And maybe Booker should be a producer. So we know all the right questions to ask you.
No, thanks.
I think it'd be a good idea. And if you do it, hire me. Okay.
Hire me. What a bore
I would
that
love
would be.
to do a documentary. Let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Hit me up if anybody agrees that that's a great idea. I'm down.
Speaking of hitting us up, 800-721-1185. We could use some new calls for the new year, new points of view. We do appreciate you listening. We do hope that Perez does not have COVID. And we do hope you'll join us next week for another edition of the PHP. Happy New Year.
I can still taste, and I can still taste things.
That's good.
I don't know. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Take care.